Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to PWR today for Monday, May 10th, 2021. The man they call Meathead, joined by Linda Kay. Good morning. The lovely Linda Kay. Good morning.
Good morning, Meathead. How are you doing this fine, crisp Monday morning?
I'm doing good. And, yesterday we all celebrated Mother's Day. Did you follow Mr. T's advice and love your mama?
Absolutely.
Okay, you got to love your mama. You've seen that video, right? Where he goes on like a 4-minute rap about how he loves his mama?
We all got to.
Got to love your mama. I mean, it's not a WWE Hall of Fame induction speech, but, still, it went on forever. So yeah. Let's talk about something that doesn't go on forever, but the deals do go on forever. Who's sponsoring us today, Linda?
Collar and Elbow, of course. Make sure to go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Once again, the spring sale, great fashions. And, we talked about this last week, especially with that throwback edition of Smackdown. There's the throwback logos of WWF, if you will, the Generation Federation. You just got to check it out. And if you want to save some extra money, put in code LindaKay, that's LINDAKAY, to save 10% off with that promo code.
You did that so much faster than Matthew. I swear to God, he spent 15 minutes doing it the last time. Did you hear that show?
Yes, well, I mean, to be fair, I guess I have spelled my name plenty of times in my life. So
I understand. And you're abbreviating, and you still went faster than Matthew. So, I mean, imagine if we spelt everything out.
That would take a long time for all of us.
Reminds me of that episode of The Office where there was Kelly from The Office and they hired the new receptionist who becomes Erin Hannon. But she goes, my name's Kelly too. Can I go by Erin? That's my middle name. She goes, well, mine's Rajniganda and I hate it. Okay, Rajniganda.
Exactly.
All right, let's start off with what Linda Kay had going on. What happened this last Saturday at GLCW?
Well, we had GLCW's Too Sweet 2 featuring our special guest, Buff Daddy.
Is he buffing the stuff?
Ladies can't get enough. Yes, he was looking great. Obviously we had the fans in for the meet and greet, and he had a part in the show where he was the special guest referee for the match with Coda Jacobs and former senior intern Cal, the fanny pack kid. Turns out Buff Bagwell is a pal of Cal's, if you will. He tore or opened the Coda Jacobs shirt he had, and to reveal he had a Cal's Our Pal shirt on. And
what?
The fanny pack kid ended up with the victory. So cool to see Buff in the ring doing some interaction, some special guest refereeing. So that was a great twist to the show. We had stars from Impact Wrestling. We had Jake something. We had Rohit. We also had, from OVW, Cal Hero, Coda Jacobs, and myself to ring announce. And last and certainly not least, Dr. Tom Pritchard was in the house. We had a camp before the show. Lots of guys learning from the best in the game. And it was great chatting with him as well. Because I spoke with Dr. Tom talking about many years ago. We were doing a wrestling round circle. And I just remember when I got the call, I'm like, all right. And I saw the run sheet of who I'd be with. And it said Dr. Tom Pritchard. And I was like, what? Oh, that was nerve wracking. But it was cool. It was great. It was a good time. Thanks to everybody who came out. And, I say this to everybody, like, I brought friends that have never been to a live wrestling show. Meathead, never been. And every time they say it's the most fun they ever had. So make sure everybody, blizzardbrawl.com for all the upcoming shows. Don't miss it.
Speaking of upcoming shows, I want to spend one more moment on GLCW. It has been announced that the Be-All, End-All show will be taking place this year. It's the first Saturday of December. Blizzard Brawl coming back to the Waukesha County Expo Center.
Absolutely. Make sure to save the date. That's Saturday, December 4th. Got the okay. The show will go on. Stay tuned to blizzardbrawl.com. Make sure to check out GLCW's socials, Dave Hero's socials, updates before we know it.
We'll have updates here as well. So,
of course, and on PWR today, of course.
I get the shakes thinking about how we didn't have, Blizzard Brawl last year. And, I had been at every Blizzard Brawl with the exception of one because literally my cousin had gotten married and Dave didn't want to move the show. But I had been at every other Blizzard Brawl, from calling them with Damian Nelson to, the first year the Tommy Dreamer and, House of Hardcore took over and put it on Twitch. I was running camera that day. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, and you do the post show for PWR as well. And
Yep.
Good times.
Right after Rashid kissed Damian on the sweaty forehead. It was the weirdest thing possible.
Right.
So no, we've done all sorts of stuff. And funniest thing, I want to, now that I'm bringing this up, there was a year Scotty Too Hottie was on, and Damian had me and Dave had me up on the apron running camera, and you were, I believe, timekeeper at this point, and the table was, do you remember me being up on the ring and you being below? Scotty Too Hottie stole the camera from me, doing his thing where he's, just showing everybody what's going on, and then threw the camera back at me. This, $10,000 camera that I'm working at. Luckily, I caught it, but that wasn't the scariest thing of all. There was a spot, and for those of you, though, that never really thought of this, when you're up on the, apron, your one hand is on the rope at all times, while the other hand is in the, cradle position holding the camera. I did not see it coming. They hit the ropes real hard. Linda, you have no idea. I almost did a table spot because I was about to be bumped off the apron.
Oh, thank goodness you held on for dear life.
Oh my God. I mean, that was something else. I literally had to get down and go hard camera for a second because that was too much. All right, let's talk news for a little bit. Linda, I want to get your thoughts and opinions on Blood and Guts from Wednesday night in AEW. Matthew and I, we talked about it Thursday morning. I love the show. Matthew loved the show. I thought it was a very well-done wrestling show. There's been some concerns with the Blood and Guts match, which is really a different way of calling it War Games. The wrestling community seems to be split right down the middle on this, 50-50. There are 50% of people out there that absolutely hated it, and there are some people saying that it set wrestling back about 30 years. What are your thoughts on that match?
I don't get why people would feel it's setting back wrestling when it's a classic match and it's one that's a attraction. It's not done frequently. I don't think people crapped on the NXT War Games matches the last couple years. I mean, not that I'm aware of, as far as it being.
No, I thought they were fine.
A big blow up, things stirring up with the IWC, but I enjoyed it. I mean, we knew what we would get. I mean, first of all, it's on AEW where we frequently get some color, a lot of blood that's just on
right.
Regular
there was
Dynamite
talks
shows.
That the blading was way too obvious.
I mean, I think that some of the blading is more obvious on previous pay-per-views or on Dynamites. This one was done inside the cages with weapons being, used, and the cage itself could cause some ruptures and bleeding. So I personally don't think it was as obvious. I mean, I did catch how they would zoom in on the person who maybe did the chair shot or, hit somebody with said weapon. They would zoom in on their faces as they were talking crap into the, into the screen. But I don't think the bleeding was as obvious. I mean, I didn't really catch that much. And for those, I think you mentioned people were asking for refunds at the show.
Yeah, there was a couple people in a live attendance at Daly's Place in Jacksonville that had asked for a refund because they did not like the show.
The show or that match? This is where I'm confused. Because
tomato.
Excellent Dynamite.
I mean, no pun intended for a red fruit there.
Right. I mean, just amongst some of my close friends, they were saying more positive comments, saying that wasn't a pay-per-view type, comment, meaning they really liked the match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was called Blood and Guts, for goodness sakes. And again, it's AEW. And you got the two hottest factions finally getting this chance to thoroughly go at it.
Just go 5-on-5, right?
Yeah. I don't get the commotion. Like, I thought it was excellent. Granted, the match did end with Jericho falling, and I mean, he fell right where he needed to because that was the only spot that was soft where he fell into. So that was excellent right there. But I don't see why it would be getting poo-pooed on. I don't get it. I mean,
I don't get it either. Jericho wasn't trying to copy Shane McMahon and fall. He wasn't trying to.
yeah.
I mean, there were some spots obviously where you could see them possibly talking to each other, but that's not it. Matthews' one gripe about the match was there was a lot of wrestler ass that was shown throughout the night. I don't know if that was meant to be.
No, I did catch before Jericho got thrown off. The cameraman happened to show, or producer hitting that button, getting him talking to MJF, and I could see MJF bending down right before he threw him off. I'm like, oh well, whatever. You knew that Jericho was going to get thrown off no matter what, so it didn't surprise me. But all in all, I mean,
because we weren't supposed to see Uranus in the program. I mean, this wasn't a planetary thing. There was just a lot of fleshy backyards. That's all.
Yes, but I will say, something to make it a little different than War Games is having all the talent directly outside the ring the whole time and getting their reactions. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. The AEW put its little twist on it, and it's called Blood and Guts. What do you expect? I don't think the bleeding was that obvious.
We expected War Games, and again, the War Games aspect of it was never said to be War Games, but they used the lineage of WCW's War Games, so that you knew it was War Games without calling it War Games.
Right.
Which I thought was absolutely genius. One more thing, the entire night, again, the build to Miro possibly going up against Darby Allin and getting that TNT championship away from him. That's coming, folks, and I think that build is absolutely tremendous. We didn't have to have Sting on TV again. We didn't have to have Christian Cage on TV again. This is what we knew we were getting. And I don't get it, but I'm not here to defend or apologize or slam or what. That's not me. It's not what we do. So
we're just complimenting the match and kind of being a little confused on why those felt it wasn't so great. Like, I just can't believe again when you said people are asking for refunds. I'm like, what? Anyways,
who asked for a refund at a wrestling show?
Right.
I didn't see enough snap mirrors, so I'm gonna need my 737 back. Yeah, I don't think so. But let's go throwback to when it cost $7.37 to get into the show. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Smackdown from Friday night was the flashback episode or throwback. I forget how the wording was going to go. Now the reason this episode was there is because Fox, the network, was doing a throwback weekend, including the NASCAR race yesterday as well. Throwback Smackdown began with Jimmy Uso's return, the chaos and the high-stakes WrestleMania Backlash stipulation. And the man that come out and tell us about it was, the Mac Militant. Holla, 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 holla. If he wasn't going to make a 6-man tag, I don't know what he was there for. I'm kidding. Welcome back, Teddy Long.
Absolutely. Holla, holla, holla. I was doing the dance.
Were you pushing it down? Because that's what the dance is. You got to push it down.
Right. And he showed us later,
And Reddy broke it down.
Mm-hmm.
So the stipulation was that if Cesaro could defeat Seth Rollins in their one-on-one match, he would get a title shot at WrestleMania Backlash. Matthew and I did talk about it in the week, and I don't know if you and I speculated last week on it. I believe we did, but it might be a little bit of a short build to get Cesaro to WrestleMania Backlash to take on Roman Reigns, but it doesn't matter anymore. It's happening this coming Sunday. Roman Reigns, Cesaro for the Universal Championship.
Right. I mean, this is what many of us were seeing it to be for the next pay-per-view, and you know what, I'm happy that Cesaro is finally getting that chance. I liked the whole build with still involving that feud with him and Seth Rollins. That was kind of like
which was business. And this had to be the blow-off match, so I mean because it gave a new stipulation.
Right. Yeah, I like it. I like that it wasn't just like, Cesaro, here you go, here's your match. You came out and you interrupted Roman Reigns during his promo a couple weeks ago. Now you get the title match. They put some steam behind it, and we got another great solid match between Cesaro and Rollins, and then the interference with the Usos. That kind of built another feud there with Seth Rollins and Jimmy or Jey Uso.
Right.
I like how that all came about. I don't know if you're gonna piece throughout the show, the different segments with Jimmy Uso, but I just love...
we'll talk about it in just a little bit here.
But with that little opening segment, wow, there was already some friction with the
Yeah.
introduction of the show. I liked that.
So, and that's a perfect segue. Thank you. But that is a perfect segue to talk about it. With Jimmy returning, he told Jay he's not Roman's bitch. He's not. He's his own man, and he does what he wants. At the end of the show, you thought there was going to be a chance where maybe Jimmy would fall in line with Roman. But I like this turn. I like this little bit of dissension here because, that's kind of how Jay started off as well. He goes, I'm not your bitch. I'm not going to be the one that does all your bidding. But then Jay fell in line. Main event Jey Uso. He's on all these pay-per-views now, but he's only there because of Roman Reigns. Does Jimmy Uso become his own man?
Yeah, I know his nickname is Main Event Jey Uso, but when was the last time he was in the main event? But another thing I did like, though, is, despite that heated confrontation, that's watch the footage from Hell in a Cell, but I did really like the replay of that because that moment in that Hell in a Cell match was one of my favorite moments. That emotion we got, that was one of the first times Roman Reigns was really able to show more of that emotional side, like more of the heel character as well.
Yeah.
But I did remember, I did like seeing that, and I was like, oh yeah, that was so good. And it was a great reminder for anybody who may not have seen it yet either, just what exactly took place and how Jey Uso did fall in line, and now we have Jimmy back saying, you said
Jimmy
I
was
quit
there
because
for the
of
whole
me.
thing.
Yeah. So that was tremendous. And
They call that a callback. Like in a movie, for example, you put those in Act 1 and you do a callback in Act 3 to it to remind you of what actually happened.
Right.
Okay. So let's talk about our new favorite color commentator dressed as Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Pat McAfee in a throwback jacket trying to look like Vince McMahon. Thoughts?
I loved it. I loved him in that jacket being Vince McMahon, if you will, and then you get Michael Cole instead of him just wearing that periwinkle blazer. He threw on his throwback signature denim WWF WWE logoed shirt. I guess that threw me back to those hilarious promos back in the day with The Rock. I know we've talked about that, but that was
a bit of boost in your hair, got your narrow ass. That's Jim Ross talking to Michael Cole. You're moosing your hair, your narrow ass. Because remember, that was when Michael Cole took over for JR, and then JR came back and, Let's talk about Carmella for a second here. A, I love the entrance. B, I love the outfit. She's money. Carmella is money, and she's wearing it all over. I love the color, and she gets a singles victory over Ruby Riott.
Yeah. I did catch the attire as well, because it did make me think of the previous Carmella. She's got the look of the new spicy, hot, sexy Carmella. Not like she was before, but her character. But the details with the attire made me think of Milla is money Carmella. So I'm glad she got that victory. Yeah, she looks like a star. I think that the whole. I'm still a little confused, the whole Reginald thing, why they didn't continue them together, because I thought they worked well together.
Reginald's the star. Unfortunately, Reginald's a star that broke out instantly off of her, and it just wasn't going to work out.
Okay.
Even though it should have.
Right. But I like that they're bringing her back into the singles scene.
Bianca Belair and Bayley get into a brawl. Now, Bayley and Bianca Belair have a match this Sunday at WrestleMania Backlash for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't see Bianca Belair losing the championship. However, if she were to drop it right away because they didn't have faith in her or something, Bayley's the person that it should go on. But I don't see Belair losing the belt.
Yeah, I don't either as well. I'm sure that they'll put on a great match at WrestleMania Backlash, but I mean, I know they had some history before WrestleMania, so maybe that kind of draws me in a little bit more, just because there was some type of build. But we did discuss, like, all of a sudden she gets this title shot, and through various reasonings that we've discussed on the show, you and Matthew, us as well. I think she's a great opponent for Bianca. Again, I don't think she'll get the title right off the bat, but she makes for some great entertainment And comedy. I liked the shout out to the women celebrating the women's champions. Like that.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
good.
cool.
But then after everyone, she got in they'll never be as good as me. But that's good. I think
But
that
she
she's a
didn't
good.
reference to Santina. Santina had the belt, didn't she?
Yes. Well, I'm surprised. I was hoping for. Oh, never mind. They were Divas champions. I was thinking AJ and
Yeah.
like the Bellas, but it was women's champion back
Yeah.
in that era. Okay.
Yeah, and they didn't mention the butterfly because I don't think Santina had the butterfly. I think Santina had the women's championship.
Okay.
But
Well.
one of my favorites was Ivory. I loved Ivory.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it.
In the last time in New Orleans when she was inducted in the Hall of Fame, I randomly ran into her. We ended up in the same jazz club, and I got a picture with her, freshly inducted into the Hall of Fame, and we somehow almost matched. So she was like, "Wow, we're twinsies." But that was really sweet. She was really
Nice.
nice. I don't know Ivory personally, but I was like, "Holy crap, it's Ivory!" And I was just like, I just
And you
really
guys are
gotta
probably
ask.
about the same height, right? Because she was kind of a smaller as well.
Similar. I think she only had a couple inches on me, but she was very
Okay.
sweet, and it was just, still just so elated from being just inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh
So
yeah, she
that was
felt
great.
just living in the glow of it.
Mm-hmm.
No pun
No
intended
pun
to her
intended.
gorgeous ladies a wrestling debut. You see what I did there?
Do yes, we need to do an episode just about glow, like the actual glow, not the Netflix glow, but the
No,
glow
the
from
real glow.
Channel
Lady
18 in
Godiva.
Milwaukee.
Oh.
Next caller.
I miss Lady Godiva. Anyway, Dominic Mysterio defeats Dolph Ziggler. That's a big deal because there is a push for the Mysterios to be the first ever father-son tag team champions.
Yeah, and I think it will happen. I know you and Matthew have discussed. I mean, they repeatedly say that they could be the first ever father-son tag team champions, and I think it'll happen. I think it'll help bring them more back into the. I mean, they're already in the tag team hunt, but just putting them back on a higher pedestal and just moving on from any past storylines. Our favorites with the Rollins.
Yeah, our guy Reginald had a match, but he was wrestling Tamina, and Tamina defeats Reginald by disqualification. Reggie is now wearing T-shirts with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler on it.
Yeah. I mean, if he's not gonna be with Carmella and help out with that whole thing, why not put him with Nia and Shayna? I mean, it's still a little flip-floppy about, how Nia really likes Reggie, thinks he's cute. Maybe she wants him to be her boyfriend, and then how Shayna didn't like him or didn't like the whole idea. But then you see them all together, and now she's liking him. So
it's weird. It's wishy-washy at best.
Yeah, flip-floppy and wishy-washy.
All right, 10-man tag. King Corbin, champion, Intercontinental champion, Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn, Otis, and Chad win the 10-man battle royal. They took on, I believe it was, who was on the faces?
Biggie, Street Profits.
Profits, Biggie, and
Kevin Owens and
Shinsuke, yeah. Again, it's a 10-man. You can't keep track of all of them. But I guess it was just honestly a way to get everybody on TV. We hadn't seen King Corbin in a while. So it's good to see King Corbin back up there. There is a guy that I still think the world of, and I think has a ton of potential. But we've been saying that now for how many years?
For Gable?
Corbin.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
King of the Ring winner. Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner. King,
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has the talent. I think in order to get him into a higher pedestal, they just need to change his gimmick up. I think that's what they need to do. New attire. He doesn't necessarily have to be king anymore, or he can be, but just a completely new character, one that's more entertaining, more funny. Like still to keep him as a heel, but more of a.
I guess. I mean, because his last big profile feud, he was feeding dog food to Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Right. Not the dog food part, just the whole. That feud stunk. Jimmy Uso's reluctance to acknowledge Roman Reigns has paved the way for Cesaro's onslaught. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Uso isn't having it, and he's wearing his down since day one-ish t-shirt. Roman isn't hearing it either. Where's this going? I mean, Reigns was dropped by the neutralizer from Cesaro, a week before WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, that I wasn't expecting SmackDown to end with both Usos and Reigns all flat on their backs or stomachs, whatever it was, all just down. I was like, wow, I did not see that one coming. I did like how it didn't seem as obvious if Jimmy was going to go either way. Because, like, I was thinking either Roman was going to hit him or he was going to hit Roman. That didn't happen, but obviously he doesn't want to fall in line to the head of the table as of this moment, but he still tried to help out his brother, so leave something open there.
We are on the go-home week for WrestleMania Backlash. Tonight we've got Monday Night Raw, 3 hours, and to be honest, I know we've got Lashley and McIntyre. I am looking forward to RK Bro. And I don't know what else there is.
Yeah,
and I'm not being facetious. I mean, I will watch it, and I will try to be positive about it.
Well, I think we'll get more of Alexa's Playground. I know we didn't talk about this on air last week, but I hope they make this whole Lily storyline move along a bit faster. I want the Fiend back.
I want the Fiend back, exactly.
Right. I think we're gonna get some more of
the New Day tags up with RK Bro taking on AJ Styles, Almost Jackson, Riker, and Elias tonight.
Okay.
We've also got Asuka, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke to battle Charlotte Flair, Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler tonight as well. Okay. But again, you see what they're doing there? That is 8. There's another 6. Then the same. I mean, seriously, that's 3 hours. What are you going to fill it with? It's one thing when you're doing a nostalgic SmackDown in 2 hours and you've got Ico Pro and ice cream sandwich, commercials to get in.
Right.
What are they doing for this 3 hour segment? Reggie is also bouncing between shows as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we'll just get more recaps. Gonna fill the time, but I mean, it is a go home show. I hope something crazy happens to get us more excited for WrestleMania Backlash. I know we'll all be watching anyway, and I think it'll be a great show, great matches, but I just want something to really push it. It is the go home show, and I know we still have SmackDown, but
we want to be entertained. We do.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get it.
I've got something else entertaining for us and for the listeners here. Linda, it's official. It's going to happen. This Sunday, we will be recording the draft, the 2021-2022 PWR Today draft. It is now official. It is a 3-person race. I understand that the others can't compete, so now it is the man they call Meathead, your reigning and defended champion, Linda Kay, team long time, and Matthew Thomas with a team to be named on Sunday.
Yes.
Your thoughts on how that's going to go?
Stoked. I think, well, it's going to be very fun. I think we're going to have a lot of twists and turns. You're definitely the most experienced in the PWR drafts. This will be my second, but still.
Matthew's second as well. I am a 2-time winner.
It's not even his complete because he joined in later on taking over for Damien's team. So it's going to be no longer Team Matt Damien from what I understand. So we're going to get this new big name reveal as well. But we've got some time to solidify our top picks, and I'm excited. We're gonna make this happen, and everyone, make sure to tune in when we have that up. Guaranteed to have some shenanigans. As we always do with the Pro Wrestling Report.
All right, for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. We will talk to you tomorrow morning to recap everything Raw, to preview what's going to be coming up on NXT. And again, the PWR Today draft. It is coming this Sunday, right before WrestleMania Backlash. So for Linda, I'm the man they call Meathead. So long, everyone.